Wait. Okay. We are online. Do we want to wait closing the door? No, we don't care. We start, so we get some time here. So we have 40 minutes. All right? I have a lot of things to speak with you about. It's going to be a very energetic session. So keep notes, okay? Very, very focused, because what I'm going to do today is something that you are not going to listen anywhere, okay? You are lucky today. So first of all, about myself. I'm working at Hitachi Solution. I'm the head of cloud security and cloud enablement. I'm also working in the Microsoft bug hunting program. I'm actually a hacker. I can tell you that, but in a good way. Sometimes depending about the family and wife, all these kind of things. And got some certification. Maybe some of you already know about my person. I do speech around the world about governance, cybersecurity, all these kind of topic. Microsoft MVP since 2006. So it's quite a long time. It's 15 years now, so I'm quite proud by myself keeping this award. Private life, I need to hack a PowerPoint here. Okay, private life, I do kayaking, whitewater. I just like do that, jumping the river and do crazy stuff, all these kind of things. I love chess. You'll understand why I loved so much chess during this session. About the agenda. Agenda is very simple. This is going to speak about my journey into the cloud. So this is a point of view from experience. This is nothing real theoretical here. This is my story, my personal story in the cloud. Just to give you an idea about myself, I spent the last 7 years, 8 years leading global cloud infrastructure worldwide. So as big companies, global companies. To give you a rough idea about the environment, think about like 8 enterprise agreement, 7 on-premise data center, AWS, Azure, all these kind of things. I was reporting to CIO, this kind of stakeholder, and managing and driving the entire company inside the cloud, looking from security, governance, all these kind of things. It was such a journey, I can tell you that. So before starting this job, I was completely different. I was not like that. I was something like that. I had blonde hair, blue eyes, all these kind of things. I was a very nice guy. You know, after 8 years, that was the result. I didn't sleep for the first year, something like that, completely miss. You know, because my experience was about integration. I'm coming from integration. Many of you know, I see people say, yeah, I know you. I was the Bristol Grinch. People used to call me like Bristol Grinch. Was very famous around with this name. And when I started this journey into the cloud, I was very good about integration, service bus. I was thinking, well, I'm good on that, you know. But the point is, okay, you're going to lead the cloud, everything. So that was a completely different thing. So I started understanding more about Azure and all these kind of things. It was a kind of crazy journey. So first things I got from this journey, and it is really important to understand, is this slide. For me, this slide is a focus, okay? Is telling you everything. So the cloud is very complex. There are things inside the cloud that are actually more important than others. So you can see in this slide what, in my experience, I think are the most important things inside the cloud. But the important thing to understand is about this kind of equilibrium inside the cloud. You cannot ignore any of that. So networking, DevOps, governance, security, policy, all these kind of things. They need to work all together, and they need to work in a perfect way. If something is going to miss, like a governance or security, it's done, right? So this is what the first lesson I learned. And another things I learned was this one. So when I started this job, leading the cloud, I didn't know anything about subscriptions, to be honest. I'm serious. For me, subscription was something, I give you the subscription, start doing the project, integrate, service bus, all these kind of things. But in governance, it's going to completely change the vision because there is cost to manage it, there is security to manage. So I started thinking, what exactly is a subscription? And when I started this job, not even Microsoft knew about that. I don't know if you remember, 7 years ago or something like that, even Microsoft, we didn't have management group in the cloud. We didn't have all these kinds of things, just subscription. And starting from that. And I start looking at this slide, and Microsoft was showing me this slide. Oh, this is the responsibility, shared responsibility. The green is actually us, the green one, okay? So I think, okay, yeah, good. There are something that Microsoft is going to take care of, all these kind of things. But I learned that the responsibility is going to change. It's not like that, right? If you change the name here, you see cost, security, data. So remove the infrastructure. Let's think about what exactly we have to do inside the cloud. We need to manage cost. We need to manage security. We need to manage our data, software, maintenance, policy, compliance, all these kind of things. And I can tell you, believe me, by experience, it's not like that. This is our responsibility. This is what we need to take care in the cloud all the time, right? So let's jump in back in a previous discussion, okay? Why are you laughing? People laughing. So what exactly is really important and what I think we need to be focused when we're going to manage a cloud and leading a cloud. So what is under the hood? What is really important? My opinion, these two are the most important things, governance and security, that's for sure. And this is why. So let's start with governance. Governance is absolutely the focus, This is where you need to start everything. What governance is? People speaking about governance. What governance is? I remember a manager told me, okay, Microsoft governance, Azure governance, this is about managing cost. I said, well, this is not exactly managing cost governance. Governance is much more than that, okay? I want to give you a very practical example. So when I started working and leading this company, that's what was going on. So there are things that you cannot ignore. You cannot start, and this has happened to me a lot of times, many times when I speak with customers, it's about, oh yes, Nino, we are using policy in the cloud. Oh yes, Nino, we are using security in the cloud, all these kind of things. But my question is, did you define all of that? It's like chess, it's the same. You need to define your strategy before starting your game. That is the point. You cannot start playing chess like that. This is why I put chess. You cannot start like that. You need to define your mind, everything. This is what I'm going to play. I'm going to play an Italian game, right? Or a Sicilian defense. And after that, I'm going to start my game. Governance is actually the same. So I'm going to give you an example about what exactly I mean for governance. It's a very practical example. So something I don't see in the company is this document here. What I'm showing you are actually real document and templates. So of course I obfuscate information, all these kind of things, because for sensitive information. But this is the Azure policy for the cloud and the company. Okay? So what you're going to define here in this document, you're going to define all the policy for your cloud. Why is important? Because you need to write down all these rules somewhere. You need to define a document like that, where you're going to define your organization inside the cloud, how it's going to manage your cloud, what exactly is a subscription inside the cloud. Why do you need to create a subscription inside the cloud? And all the other policy are, you look this one, this is very important policy, like creation of port, like exposing port, like 3389, 22, 1433, SQL Server, all these kind of things. No point. You cannot open this port in the cloud at all. So you start writing down your company policy document, okay? And apart this document, there are many other documents, but I'm showing you the most important. You just keep in mind and keep note about that. This one is the Cloud Adoption Decision Matrix. What is that? So actually, this one is a document that I used to create and so on. It's going to drive the company about when using Azure and for what, in the cloud, for what. You just start spinning up stuff inside the cloud like that inside the company. You need to be clear about when I need to use Azure, when maybe better to use something different, maybe using on-premise data center approach than using the cloud, right? Because it's a matter about costing and all these kind of things. Other important document that I like to show you is, and we can show you this one, that's really important, is the cloud matrix, network matrix, where you're going to define how your network cloud is actually working. So the public IP you have, the external endpoint, the source, the destination, why actually they exist in the cloud. Why do you need all these documents? First, most important, because you need to define all these documents, you need to sign and approve this document from the very high stakeholders. So they're going to say, yes, I'm okay with that, I'm okay with this policy, and after that, you're going to apply this policy inside the cloud and all your rules, okay? Last one, I'm not going to spend too much in this because this one is really important, is the incident response plan. This is the last document you do. Why? This is actually the document who is going to describe inside the company what is going on and what's happened if an incident happens inside the company. And believe me, that's important. This document is extremely important. Why? If you get hacked inside the company, it's because a hacker is going to, I don't know, shut down your solution, is going to destroy a subscription, is going to block your port, wherever things is going on. This document is the only one point of reference for external company that you may be called to help you. And say, hey, I need help. I need security expert now, right now. They need to help me. The first question will be, okay, fine. What I'm going to do here? Who I need to call? For what? For the subscription, for this, for that. This is happening. Where is my point of reference to act in your company? Then is the document they need. Immediately, this is what they're going to ask you, okay? So the sad story about that is, I have many of them. So I will be in the Hitachi stand after the session. So feel free to join me, and we can discuss a lot about all these things and share with you all these kind of things. So that is governance. I don't want to spend too much time on this topic because the only real value I want to give you during this session about governance is this. You need to define your key document inside the company. And after that, you start working in the cloud. I see too many people just work in the cloud like that with nothing about this document or this definition. Let's jump in the security. Security is a nice topic. People like speaking about security, all these kind of things. And I start looking about security because security is so crucial, so crucial. First things I want to say is this one. There is no security without discipline. That's impossible. That's impossible. The culture inside the company, push the culture inside the company, teach people about security, all these kind of things. That's really important, right? That's really important. So jumping in our discussion is about the evolution of security. Why this is so important? This slide is crucial because if you look about what was in the past and what is now, this one was before cloud. Okay, so we actually have an approach like on-premise data center. So it was more about a decentric approach. With the cloud, everything changed, completely changed. It's not anymore the same. In the cloud, we have an approach that we call a role-based access security approach. So we created the account, and we provide access to the account inside the cloud. There is one single account inside the cloud, who actually is the global admin. I don't know how many of you, how many people here are using Azure? All of you, fantastic. How many of you are security people? Just 2, 3, okay. That's good, so you can also get about security, which is really important. So, global admin account is the top 1 account in the cloud. It's actually God. He owns the cloud, completely. I'm not joking, guys. He owns the cloud, completely. If a hacker is able to do privilege escalation and access to your global admin account, is able to do everything inside the cloud. He's actually owning your entire cloud. And for owning your entire cloud, I mean any Azure resources tied to the tenant. Even if you have different enterprise agreement subscription, if you get the global admin account, he's actually able to access everywhere inside the cloud. So this is why the security landscape completely changed its approach, okay? So there is another point. It was the SolarWinds attack, all right? Do you know about SolarWinds attack, what actually happened? Okay, this actually changed everything. That was a revolution, completely. So companies now are very scared about security, very worried about security. What exactly happened? So people have been able to engage and access to the deployment pipeline inside SolarWinds. They've been able to inject a backdoor inside the SolarWinds code. So after an update, and we don't know how long time this happened, be careful, we don't know how long time this happened. Actually, in the entire world, many companies are using SolarWinds, they had a backdoor installed in the company. And the CM system, security system, nobody was able to get and catch this attacker. Why? Because the attacker was actually using the SolarWinds protocol communication. So it looks at normal traffic. But for years or time, we don't know how long hacker and criminal organization, they've been able to access NSA, Pentagon, wherever it is, all people using SolarWinds. And do you know what they did? That is the most scary thing. This is why now companies really scared, because they say, what the heck? What was going on? So actually, I was trusting you. You're SolarWinds. Come on. I used to for many years. So what do I need to do now? I can't trust anyone. And this is why this is discussion about zero trust, jumping. You know, you hear people say, zero trust, Microsoft, zero trust, zero trust, zero trust, zero trust, zero trust. But it's actually true. I don't see so many solutions, to be honest, to manage security in a company in a proper way than using this kind of approach. The zero trust mindset for Microsoft, what they say is, what I'm going to do for the zero trust, I give you identity management, I give you to all the things. I'm going to check any kind of movement, identity operation you are going to do inside the cloud. This is actually, you know, the Microsoft zero trust mindset and approach. In my side, as a security guy, when I think about that and zero trust, for me, zero trust is just zero trust. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust myself, especially myself during my job, of course, because we do mistakes. Even we do mistakes. We need to be honest. I heard about a company. They do a phishing campaign, sending email in a company. They got 50 people clicking the URL. 50. I mean, 50 people in the company clicking the URL. This can be everything. Can be everything. Can be a malware, all these kind of things. So when we speak about the zero trust, is the zero trust dilemma. This I call zero trust dilemma. Why? Because zero trust is going to close everything. You know, people start closing doors, closing things, blah, 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 all these kind of things. In the other side, there is the sales team, managers. They say, whoa, come on, dude, we can't do that. We need to be easy business. We cannot stop developer. They need to access RDP access because it's easy. Yeah, no, but you cannot just say, yes, okay, I can understand you. Leave the developer access to the machine. You cannot do that. So let's jump in serious discussion about security. Now we get some fun. So before doing that, I do a disclaimer. What I'm going to say, I'm going to tell you after this, some of the information are seriously dangerous information, okay? But it's really good for you because you can get a really good understanding about what is going on about security and all these kind of things. But please use what I'm telling you for good purpose, okay? Let's jump in something that I think in terms of governance security you cannot ignore is this kind of attack, external endpoint attack at 3 at 9, all these kind of things. That is something that makes me mad. Completely mad. If we look about, we are speaking now here, and I'm happy to show you this. I don't know how many of you are aware, you can have a lot of fun with this, absolutely. This is, during we are speaking now, this is what is happening around the world, right now. This is all attacks, everywhere, everywhere. Maybe they are also attacking here. We can check in Zoom. But this is actually what is happening right now. This is real time, okay? And we are speaking about security, all these kind of things, but this is criminal organization. These are people, kids, or criminal, especially criminal organization. The world is changed. Now we have Russia. There is any Russia person here? No, okay. We have Russia now that they work in this way. I'm serious. Okay, I'm serious. There is a very nice forum in the dark web, okay? And this is the most important Russian forum for hacker, okay? This is where hackers are actually working, all these kind of things. It is a Russian forum, okay? And Russia, the government, they know about that. And they have a lot of hackers in Russia, a lot of them. But they don't bother about the hacker. The hacker in Russia, they can do whatever they want. And they do whatever they want. Believe me, there are really serious organizations around Russia doing a lot of nasty things. And the government say, okay, I don't care. The important thing is just don't bother the government. Don't come to me, not even try. If you do something like that, I mean, I can guarantee you the hacker is going to disappear like that. But this is how actually it's working. And this is what is actually working right now. Other things, it's like that. If you see like this one, this is Google Dork. You see this string here on top? Okay, they call Google Dork. You can use these kind of things in Google. Easy, you can find a lot of things in Google. And what exactly happened? You can do really crazy research in Google. We are not aware that when you use the cloud and all the kind of things, we put document things, even operating system, they save files everywhere. Are you aware where your solution or your software are saving a file or information or configuration? Because Google, this guy here, is actually scanning internet everywhere. He finds everything, anything. And hackers, they know that. They use a lot this kind of technique. It's just searching like that. If I click at this URL here, for this one. So this is what I'm going to show you. This is going to show a configuration file. This is actually a configuration file. If I look here, I do this, password. That's a password. Here, you see, there is a password. Easy. Look. Right? So just think about people using this stuff all day. And these are not dummy guys. These are hackers. These are guys, thinking about, say, all right, okay, I got this information. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. There's also this one. I don't know how many of you are aware about Shodan.io. This is another scanner, public scanner. Instead of Google, is going to scan any kind of external endpoint on internet. Anyone across internet. Which means your web app on Azure, your virtual machine in Azure, wherever it is, they are all scanned. So if you do something like that, Azure port 389, and you click search, this is going to give you a result about all the public IP in the cloud. Now open. These are all virtual machines. Open in the cloud, public IP. Oh, look. Look. This actually, there is also the username, right? So it's quite it'll make the life easier to the hacker. So this is, you see, lock screen, all this kind of thing. That's crazy. If you think that's crazy, and you think in your mind, why people are doing that? Why people are doing that? Right? So the point, this was my question all the time when I was working, and keep going with security, because I start growing up much more inside security. This is why I got the Certified Ethical Hacker certification, the Master in Cybersecurity, because I like to learn, understand, about this, why people are doing that, right? Because there are many things like security and all these kind of things that don't really care about. It's let's go jump in the, okay. If you look about the tools like that, Maltego, this one is very famous. You open this Maltego, you put a name, you can find information about people, everything, phone number, wherever you want in a company. They start scanning wherever about you. You're using Facebook, you're using Instagram, you're using social, Twitter, all these kind of things. This is where hackers are coming to, because they like to get all this information, and they use tools for that. And there are a lot of tools around where I show you like this one. I have some tools with me. I'm showing you the most nasty tool. This one is the Hacker one, Hacker RF1. So with this one, you're actually going to hack radio frequency. You see in a movie when they open door, Tesla, they hack a Tesla machine, all this kind of stuff. They use these kind of things. This is Pineapple. With this one, if I turn on this one, it's very old. The bad side about this is these tools are very easy to use. That's his bad things, the bad side. You don't really need to be, a kind of crazy, well, you're really good. You're able to use a Pineapple. It's not so complicated. That is the point, right? This is what I want to. The point is, if I turn on this one, this is going immediately to hijack all the Wi-Fi here in this conference completely, and going to start a man-in-the-middle attack. This is why there is a USB here, because you start collecting all the information from the Wi-Fi. What is doing this bastard is very simple. It's going to say to all your phone, wherever it is, when you jump in a conference, and say, hey, I'm here. Oh, is it you? Yes. Did you already use my Wi-Fi? Yeah, of course. It's me. Okay, cool. Take it. This bastard is actually doing that. He's hijacking the Wi-Fi and say, no, it's me. Oh, it's you. Okay. Take it. And start, doing this kind of attack. Very nasty. In the middle, I also have the RAB-Ducky key. I don't know if you're aware what is a RAB-Ducky key. It's a keyboard, USB keyboard. So is this one? I removed this one because, as you can see, the cover is exactly the same of my real USB key. This one is my USB key I'm using for job. This one is a RAB-Ducky key. This is a keyboard. So you put inside the computer, and you start writing stuff, and executing command, all these things. So I have to give away for you during this session. I make a couple of questions. Is this one? This one is a micro Arduino. You can actually program this one, and you can make a RAB-Ducky key with this one. So it's a very nice thing. So especially for security guys, if you want to have fun with this one, you can have a lot. So first things first. Second thing we cannot ignore is multi-factor authentication. People are speaking about multi-factor authentication everywhere and all these kind of things, and say, hey, multi-factor, Microsoft push a lot of messages everywhere. That was during the Black Hat 2009. And Microsoft released this report and say, hey, guys, we are scanning all the Azure, and we are telling you how many people are now using multi-factor authentication right now. So in 2018, the last one was 1.7%. They start pushing a lot of communication, everything. Do you know how many? Can you just guess about how many, 2019, the percentage was about the company? Huh? 2.7, 5, 8. Top? Okay. That was, man, I'm scared. Did you hack me or something? Thank you. Give away. Congratulations. You are a hacker. Anyway, so 8%, 8%. So can you imagine, how much, these things? It's just unbelievable. And think about these people are pushing these messages everywhere, and this is actually the result, nothing. I think, are people, what they're doing? Why are they doing that? And believe me, since now, there are many, many people that are using multi-factor authentication at all. Why? For the easy business. Because they want to access immediately. We say, it's too boring, and the phone, and this, and that. I don't want to do something like that. So, other things, the other important point I learned is about where and how. Where this happened and how this happened. So there are two different layers. One is external, of course. So people are always thinking about that. I get hacked. I need to block. I need to close the door. I need to close everything because I get hacked from hacker externally. But this is not exactly the scenario. Believe me, during my past year, most of the attacks, they are coming from internal, from here. I'm serious. If a criminal organization decide for any reason to attack your company, I mean a good criminal organization, I can tell you, you cannot stop them. It's almost impossible. Because what they do is very simple. They look at your company, they understand about your business, what you're doing, and they maybe use, like they did for SolarWinds attack, they use you to hack other company. Okay, this is what they do. So you're going to hire a nice kid, very nice, clever, smart, wherever, like a developer, is actually a hacker. Okay, it's just joining your company. And there are many different layers because the cloud is very complex. You can see this is a classic integration architecture. You see a lot of software everywhere here. So can you guess about all of this? What you think is one of the most nasty points where hackers are looking for to attack the cloud? That's the last giveaway. It's inside this list. What do you think is, in your opinion? Huh? DevOps is really bad. DevOps is actually one of the most hated. It's the second one, I would say. Who said that? Good. That's your giveaway. PowerShell is actually the most used. I'll leave you here. I'll give you later. PowerShell is actually the most used and preferred attack inside the cloud. And why? Let's do this. Let's be bad. Okay? So this attack is the local storage cloud credential attack. I want to give you something nice today. I want you to see a hacker working and doing a real attack in the cloud, so you can actually understand how it works. All right? So, and one thing, this is something that is working in also in AWS, this kind of attack. And also, I would say in AWS is even more nasty than this one. And I will explain you why. So this is Bob. He's an IT administrator. He's using the cloud. He's accessing in the cloud, doing the administrator, all these kind of things with PowerShell. He's doing a login in the cloud with PowerShell. So what people don't know is when you log with PowerShell, PowerShell is going to store token credential in your machine. And this is not just about the person, it's also about application. So if you have application or things running in server using PowerShell and you log all these kind of things, actually, you are sharing this token on the machine. So what is the point about that? I learned about these kind of things. It was 2 years ago, something like that. And when I got this point, I say, well, let me scan here and start using process monitor, all these kind of things. I got this. And you say, what the heck is that? So let me check. So what actually the hacker can do is he can access to the machine, he can take this token, and he can use the token to impersonate Bob. Be careful, I'm not saying username, password. He doesn't care about username and password. It's just impersonating Bob. So the attacker is going to be Bob, the administrator, and doing that is going to create a backdoor inside the cloud, which is a service principal account inside the cloud. A job done, finish. After that, the hacker can just go through the cloud and log with this account easy without any problem from home, right? So let me show you this attack so you can see for real. So this is actually, and we can discuss about this attack later if you want. This is actually the script. So the number one is going to be the administrator logging inside Azure. The second script is going to be the hacker who is going to hack. This is actually the file token I was mentioning about that you find inside the machine. And is actually using this PowerShell command to impersonate Bob. And after that, it can actually start using the cloud, using Bob credential. If Bob is a global administrator, you can say hello to your cloud without any problem. And this attack is working also with multi-factor authentication enabled. Right? Because people say, oh, yeah, multi-factor authentication enabled. It doesn't matter. You know, these stuff are not working in multi-factor authentication, I can tell you. And even if you enable multi-factor authentication, you just got your token, and that's it. The token is in your machine. So the attack is instantaneous. It's going to be, take the token, create the backdoor, job done. That's it, I'm done, right? And after that, the third script is going to log and create a resource group inside the cloud. So let's jump quickly inside the demo. I'm going to execute the first script now. All right. And this is going to be Bob. I am Bob now. And I'm going to authenticate. I'm authenticating now. I did this demo before because, guys, you know, demo ethics sometimes, especially when you hack stuff, this may happen. So I'm in the cloud now. I'm listing subscriptions, so I'm the administrator. Now is coming the hacker, is executing the second script. Now it's going. So I make simple now so you can understand about what exactly is going on. But actually what's going on is that taking this file, impersonating the account, and create the user. So this is actually the user. They use the user Power BI extender. They do that because Power BI extender is actually an extension in Power BI, the user service principal account. So if administrators look at the list, they say, Power BI extender, fine. Well, no, it's not exactly fine. That's actually a backdoor inside the cloud. You know, it's not so easy to catch something like that. So let's put this one in a notepad now, so we can actually work much better. Okay, let me copy this one. And now what I'm going to do, I'm the hacker. I'm going to log using the third one. I'm going to do this. So this is where I am engaging. This one is the username. Here. I can do this with a wrap ducky key, of course. I was mentioning, you know, about the USB key, the keyboard. This is actually, you know, the problem is wrap ducky key is going to do these things like that. The moment you insert this one, boom, all done. So create this one, and I'm going for the password, like this one. Okay. And now, doing that, I'm logging inside the cloud, and now I'm going to create a resource group wherever I want. That's just simple like that, guys. It's simple like that. I'm sure many of you are using PowerShell in the company, everywhere. Laptop, wherever things, administrator. This is actually a very used attack everywhere, very easy, okay? So, what's the point is, we can check about that, but believe me, it's going to be done at some point here. It's going to show up the resource group, wherever, yeah. This one is the resource group inside the cloud. The boogeyman was here, right? So, very easy. I know, yeah, you are scared. Someone is scared now and say, hey, Nino, you really scare me now. So how I can, protect myself about the things. So I just want to be very, very easy on that, okay? So use Azure Bastion and avoid using PowerShell from laptop, all these kind of things. That is the solution. And educate your employee. But most important, use Azure Bastion and use PowerShell from the portal. In Azure portal, there is an icon top on right, which actually you can use PowerShell from there. So educate your people and say, hey, dude, if you want to use PowerShell, please use PowerShell from there, from your laptop, right? And also using Azure Bastion. Azure Bastion, you can actually access to administration machine wherever you want, using SSH HTTPS. So it's open from your browser, it's open a window from your browser, you can use administration from that. So people are not actually using virtual machine, all these kind of things. So, and you close this from that. So question now, after I'm telling you all these kind of things, everything. So question is my cloud okay? After all this discussion, is everything okay? So a question coming out, everything. So there are some signals, to be honest, that you can quickly understand if your cloud is okay. I can tell you that. If we do a discussion, feel free to reach me after the session, especially in the other, when I'm going there, in the Hitachi stand. It's about, are you using management group in the cloud? Yes or not? If the answer is not, then it's not good. There is a problem, for sure, because it's a good practice. You have to do that. Do you have multi-global admin in the cloud? More than 2? If the answer is yes, then I think it's good to have a chat and discuss about that. There are something. Do you have a document policy for the cloud? If the answer is not, then there is a problem, for sure. You are just using the cloud. You are spinning up stuff, a policy, whatever it is, but you don't have a clear idea about what you are doing in your cloud and what you are doing that, right? So what you can do, I give you some of the resources now to understand what is the best thing to do, in my opinion. For governance, something is, Microsoft is pushing this exam, it's a 900. It's good. I recommend you this kind of exam because it's a wide, broad exam. It's giving you a good understanding abroad about the cloud, everything. And the second is these practices here. I don't know how many of you know about the cloud adoption framework. How many of you know about cloud adoption framework? Good, good. There's a very good resource, to be honest. So it's something you can have a look and check about the practices, everything. How actually is the best things to use a strategy in the cloud, all these kind of things. And second is, the well architecture framework. It's very nice resource, this one. I really recommend this one. So it's something that a lot of documentation, a lot of things you can dig in and look about, okay? Second things about security. This exam is at 500. That's for Azure. That's focus about Azure. I recommend this if you want to look about Azure, security Azure, all this kind of stuff, but it's very focused about Azure, okay? Identity, all these kind of things, networking, and blah, blah. Second step, I would recommend this one, Certified Ethical Hacker. Okay, it's really good. Big exam, long, all these kind of things, but it's giving you also the opportunity to engage security much more, a broad range, everything. You can also go around with these toys. You can do that if you have this certification. Don't go around with these toys without a certification. That's very good advice for you, because if police get you with some of these toys in your backpack, you get big problem, very big problem. Okay, you need to have a certification, something. The other one I recommend is this one, OACP. This is very practical, more about security and practical. So a 24-hour exam for that, hacking a system, and you need to provide a report after that. The last things I want to push, and really good, is the best thing you can do ever. You look at the resources, look about your Azure, wherever it is, but speak with an expert. Is the best thing you can do. Speak with a person with experience on the field, who actually already did that in the cloud, actually produced that in the cloud, actually did everything. It's just experience. There is nothing more than that. You can organize a round table. It can be half a day, 1 day, easy. We do a lot of the things in Hitachi, to be honest, around, free, or even free, because it's just to engage, have business together, wherever it is, okay? And in half a day, 1 hour, or half a day, 1 day, you get so much you can, just unbelievable. Because it's experience, that's it. So understand the business, what you're doing in the cloud, and I understand what exactly is the critical point. And after that, you can engage much more, and you can maybe do a security assessment or a cloud assessment. So you say, okay, I got some point, I got big point, I know where is the problem, everything now, so let's do something more. So that's where you are going to engage more about maybe a cloud assessment or cloud security assessment. This, I think, is the best recommendation I can give you to fix your cloud and about the cloud governance and cybersecurity. It's a learning path, to be honest, the assessment. It's not like something, don't think about people coming to you and say, hey, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. No, it's not like that. I don't work like that with customers. I work with people together. We learn. I learn. Every time I go to a customer and do an assessment, I learn a lot of new things, many things, because different situation, different things. And we learn each other, because this is an important point. The value is live on the place people with expertise, with experience, not just providing a report or something like that, right? I think this is everything for me. I will be at the Hitachi stand after the session, okay? If you have any question, don't be shy. Just come to me. We can do hacking. We can do governance, look at the documentation, wherever you want, okay? Do you have any question? Okay. Thank you then.